I wish every time I held your hand, we grasped the power to pause time, if only for a moment. Walking through these frozen poses, eager to what our journey may find, would you take this walk with me? Gazing on both our highs and our lows. Basking at the beauty of our mountaintops, but also at the desolation caves, high below. You know, you've already taken my breath away. But I can imagine a different awe. When in every example, in every scene, it became clearer and clearer that you were the most beautiful thing I saw, but also the most vulnerable, the most damaged. And your soul and my soul, a peak grows thinking of these demons you withhold truly. I can't understand it, don't misunderstand me. I want to be your foundation, your point of retreat. I want to be your appetite when you can't eat. Rest in a lullaby when you can't sleep. Your voice amongst the masses when you can't speak. I want to be that other half that makes you complete. But that's not to say I don't see perfection in who you are. Glimpses of you mimic the tail of a shooting star. Fading reminders of a beauty above. The first was your energy and vibe that left me handcuffed. Always filled me up, but somehow left my cup feeling as if it was never enough. I was insatiable for your touch. Can't explain the elation I gained from your blush or the knots in my gut each moment you were in my clutch. Time. Pause. If only just for me. So in this stillness, I built you a monument, hoping one day you would pause and see this mental mosaic I laid out with a singular intent to show proper homage and due appreciation to every moment that was spent with you.
And I will try to read it as a public service announcement, so please bear with me. If you don't know what you're supposed to know, am I wrong if I try to help you do right? This is a personal thing, but once you see what I mean, you'll be glad we brought it to the light. You see, I learned long ago that we all must go. It's simply a natural function of life. But when you get through, remember the last thing you do is to use a wet wipe for no strife. Now let me make this clear. This is a subject that most people fear. Even though we all hope to go at least once a day. When you get through with your doo-doo, let that wet wipe take it all the way. Now the evidence is plain to see in the seats of those who don't wipe like me. They're called snail tracks and fart sneezes. Now toilet paper can start the fight, but to really clean your asshole right, wet wipes is the one that pleases. Now we don't like to backtrack, especially when talking about a clean crack. Hell, most people just swipe once and think they're through. But we stand before you now, sharing the knowledge of how using that wet wipe for a second pass can cleanse you. Please, realize before I get done, even though this was written in fun, you'll soon begin to look at those sitting around and you'll start to wonder, do they use those wet wipes too? Or is he a one swiper and through? Wait until he moves around and his aroma will warn you. Now, here's our final plea. On this, you'll surely agree. Wet wipes were invented to help us. But if dry wipe you must, please think about the rest of us. And don't stop until you see nothing on the paper. Well, my time is through. We hope you can use this gift I've shared with you. Its wisdom has been passed down through the years. But a wet wipe alone won't alleviate all your fears. If your ass is nasty, dirty, stanky at the start of your go, then no wet wipe ever invented is going to staunch the stank of your flow. A wet wipe will not replace a bath that's needed. And as we continue this journey of meandering through the insane meanderings of a sane mind, this next piece, I did not write it, but it was imprinted on my mind when I was 10 years old. This would be 1968. And it was the B-side of a 45 record by Mr. James Brown. And it is entitled King Harold. And I guess before I start, it's been close to me, but I guess because I have an addictive nature, I guess is a polite way to say it. I'm a drunk, I'm a junkie, I'm all that, but somehow I survived. Here I am. I had a dream the other night. I was sitting at home and I dozed off to sleep, and I started to dream. I dreamed I walked into a place and there was a strange, weird object standing up, talking to all the people. And as I began listening, I realized that it was heroin, that deadly drug that goes into your vein. And this is what he said. I came to this country without a passport. But ever since then, I've been hunted and sought. My little white grains are nothing but waste, soft, deadly, bitter to taste. But I'm a world of power. All know it's true. Use me just once, and you'll know it too. You see, I can take a mere schoolboy and make him forget his books. Take a world-famous beauty and make her neglect her looks. I'll take a man and make him forsake his country and flag. Make a girl sell her luscious body for a $5 bag. In cellophane bags, I've found my way. From heads of state to children at play. I'm finest in China, ran in Japan. I'm even respected in Turkey and legal inside. You see, I take my addicts and I make them steal, borrow, and beg. And then they search for a vein in the arm of their leg. So, be you Italian, Jewish, black, white, or Mex, I can take the most virile of man and make him forget his sex. Now the police are taking you. Come under my wing. Do you think they can identify me? I who am king? Now you must lay in that Central County jail. They say I can't get to you by visit or mail. Squirm with your problem, wiggle and cough. 6 days of madness and you still can't throw me off. Curse me by name. Defy me with your speech. Knowing right now you'd pick me up only if I were within your reach. All through your sentence, you become a czar to your fate. Fear not, young man and woman. I'll be waiting at the gate. Don't be afraid. Don't run. I don't chase. You see, my name is Harold, and you will be back for a taste. For behold, you are hooked. Your foot is in the stirrup. You're right. So make haste and mount the steed and ride him well. For the white horse of Harold will ride you to hell. To hell. Until you are dead, my brothers and sisters, dead. This has been a revolution of the mind. Get your mind together and get away from drugs. And if somebody got something to turn in, I'll take that from you after I get off the stage. And this third piece, I think, will put me within my allotted time. I wrote this, I don't know when. I'm smiling. This piece is called You Still Smiling. They said you must be up to something. Always running around smiling for no reason. We know something's not right upstairs. See, you're a black man wearing shorts in the winter season. Wherever you go, you let them know you're just teasing. But the smile of a clown can be heavy and deceiving. When does it slip? How do you keep it hung so straight? Surely the life you live, it can't be that great. Do you really have more ups and downs, or are you also hiding the tears of a clown? At the end of the day, when you're all by yourself, do you drop the facade and put your smile on a shelf? What do you do with each day's grief, the pain, the sorrow? Where do they go that you can still smile tomorrow? Even though we can't swim, I really can't, I don't even float. I still step into the deep water of life. So many stand on the water's edge, living their castrated lives. Worry upon worry over so many things they can't change. Then deny their own God-given powers. Why doesn't that seem strange? You see, we'd have to take you back to our start when our happiness was born upon innocence of heart. We had a child's glee and delight in everything we saw and did, never learning as we got older. These were the things as adults we kept hid. Bite off that laughter. Choke down that smile. I've been reminded I'm a black man. At times it was quite vile. In my youth, I once met a girlfriend's father who was of a different color and persuasion. He was white, of course, but right now, to make it rhyme, we'll say he was Asian. He said he wiped me while he whooped right through me. Went so far as to ask what I thought our future together would be. But his words left unspoken were written plain across his face. You see, we were meeting in his private office, and he positioned me to put me in my place. Only I wasn't what he had imagined that a black student athlete would be. He expected anger and hostility, but he got none of that from me. Finally, after not saying all that he wanted to say, I smiled, shook his hand, and walked away. Still saw his daughter, but I knew she wasn't my partner for life. That's one of the reasons I'm still smiling, because of the black woman who became my wife.
I stand in a time I know history will loudly echo. Suspended like escrow by mental poverty and generational curses we won't let go. So I let the world know I'm a proud Negro, loud Negro. Can't help but stand out in a crowd Negro, yelling institutional racism is a tool. Divide and conquer the strategic monster imperialism set loose. Too much influence for just 2% of the national wealth, that's evidence of a plan. But reparations is something you won't even ask for, let alone demand. Damn. No justice, no peace. I get pulled over feeling like they're hunting me. Why not? They murdered a 17-year-old in custody. Hell yeah, I'm annoyed. They suffocated that young brother 4 times longer than George Floyd. I scream out his name, Cedric Lofty. It's not often. I'm far from the thought. Haunted by the voices and ambitions of the murdered and lost, whispering blood was the cost in which your life was bought. Still, searching for salvation and retribution while the system that murdered them grows greedier and scoffs in absolution. Lock my soul away in a cage built by the bones of lit slaves, set it ablaze so the phoenix can raise and engulf this whole phase in holy fire. Wade in the flame becomes the hymn, will emerge purified gems as our adversaries wither and expire. Understand, I am inspired to be a proud Negro, loud Negro. Can't help but stand out in the crowd Negro because our young brothers are still being sacrificed. Young sisters, minds exploited and bodies siphoned by misogynistic appetites. Mothers more than ever overworked and unappreciated. Fathers still treated as irrelevant at home, endure the social buck breaking of their worth. The young are treated as irrelevant from the time they can talk. The old are disregarded as if they didn't pave the path we walk. Schools train kids for social expectations. Hold your breath. That's why cokehead white kids become CEOs and misunderstood black kids get incarceration. A strong black woman, aggressive. A strong black woman, difficult. A strong black man, aggressive. That's why little black girls get kidnapped and little black boys are seen as weapons. I know. This time will echo longer than I will live. So I summon every drop of passion and purpose and love that I have to give, pleading with you to come together. Let Ubuntu be the opening and Sankofa for the closing of this letter. Written in the spirit of those lost, yet never forgotten. You know, those loud Negroes, proud Negroes, couldn't help but stand out in the crowd Negroes. that led them to be lynched, burned, raped, choked, families targeted, broken, businesses extorted for what they heard, schools sabotaged, medicine, toxic, mental health assassinated. It's not accidental. We almost lost it. This resiliency is frayed and waning. And I'm not asking for a handout, nor am I complaining. I'm just simply saying the decisions we make will ripple and become tidal waves for generations to come. So be loud, be proud, but most importantly, become one.
To start with my piece about Senator Lofton, it's called Unqualified Authority. 1,500 hours, 90,000 minutes, 5.4 million seconds. That's how long it takes to become a barber. That's how much training it takes just to work a set of clippers, but only a third of that time is what it takes to become an officer of the law. So, by my understanding, it is that it takes less than 30 days' time to make decisions between life and death. 560 hours to carry a gun and decide people's fate. I find that just pure insanity. And I'm not the person who fights authority to just rebel without a cause. So when I say, fuck the police, I don't mean the officer that saved my friend's life. I mean, people like the officer who put my friend face down on the concrete for having clear tape on his taillight instead of red. Or Officer Maines of the Wichita Police Department who pulled me out of my own vehicle when I was the victim of a road rage incident. A man pulls a knife on me, threatens to cut me, yet somehow I'm the one that's in the wrong, or the fear where I informed him that I'm carrying a concealed weapon. I put my hands on the bed of my truck and I asked him. I begged him to disarm me, and that power-tripping psychopath refused. I told him I didn't feel safe to reach for my wallet. And this psycho smiled. He fucking smiled and dared me to reach for it. That was my first eye-opening experience. My friends and family of color live with this fear every fucking day, and I always hear it so frequently. If you just comply, you're safe. And I say, fuck that. Non-compliance does not equal a death sentence. A police officer is not judge, jury, yet all too frequently they're the chosen executioner. So when those closest to me are deemed guilty, simply for being more melanated than myself, I'm angry. And that's not even accurate. I'm downright fucking furious. They're human just like myself. But because I fall more in line with the lie of their blue-eyed, pale messiah they choose to worship, I'm safe. I hate to break it to them, but Jesus looks more like the people they shoot in cold blood, or that they racially search in airports, or that they assume are here illegally for speaking their native tongues. The American dream is a dream for white America. It's a nightmare for everyone else. And I'm sick of acting like it's not. So I'll take this white privilege and wield it like the deadly weapon that it is, because an ally simply isn't enough anymore. It's time to advocate. So I refuse to tolerate intolerance. I refuse to sit by just because I'm not the victim, because I believe in the Pledge of Allegiance. It's liberty and justice for all, not for some. And on that, I firmly stand. So I've got one more piece, I've got two more pieces. This next one, my girlfriend and I had just gotten into, we had a little bit of a tiff earlier on in the day, and I had come to the realization that I'm not the easiest person to be with. I'm fully aware of that. And we never go to bed angry, but I could tell that it was still bugging her. And so while we were laying in bed, I couldn't sleep because it was unresolved. So I wrote this, and this was the day before she went into the hospital. And I'm thankful, honestly. I sent it to her in a text message. I'm thankful that I wrote it. I'm thankful that I sent it and didn't just sit there, because she's told me that she reads it when she's sitting there in the hospital bed all by herself. And it helps. I'm not crying yet, Popeye. That's the next one. As I'm laying here in bed, unable to sleep, maybe the pot of coffee at 1 p.m. was a mistake. I think about where my life is. I went from the drunkest person everywhere that I went, stumbling and spiraling through life with my own vices lubricating the fall, pieces of me breaking and scattering on the way down. All the while, I thought I was having fun. I was working the same dead-end job, telling everyone how much I'm loving life, and the growth that I've actually done in the last year astounds me. I spent all of these years looking for someone to keep up with my lifestyle, creating toxic environment after toxic environment until I finally hit the bottom, and like a life preserver being cast out to me while lost at sea, you wandered into my life. It all started with just hanging out. It was simple. We were friends, and I had just left a metal show, and you had just left the bar with your friends, and you invited me over. It was like you were everything that I was missing. Every piece that broke off of me fit perfectly within your presence, and we continued to get to know each other. And then at one point, your place became ours. Your vision of me created an elevator to raise me to a level that I didn't know I was capable of. My art progressed. My destructive ways subsided, and I grew. I left that dead-end job and started a career because you deserved better. We got a place together, and you turned it into a home. Everything I have ever given you, you have multiplied. And now we have our little family with our fur children, and the entire world is at our feet, and I know I'm not the easiest partner. And I know loving me wasn't the easy choice some days. But as I'm laying here listening to your chest rise and fall, I realize truly how lucky I am to be blessed with you. You are the answer to every single prayer that I didn't know that I was praying. You are the love of my life, my world, my everything. I love you. Now this one I wrote last night, so it's going to be rough. I apologize. And it's a really emotional one, so it's pretty short, and then I'll get out of your guys' hair. Wrote it last night, so it doesn't have a title either. Helplessness. By definition, it's the inability to defend oneself or act effectively. And that's my deepest fear. Not having the ability to control my world or help and defend those in it, it's truly difficult. But for the ones you love, there's a little bit of helpless that comes with it. So you do what you can and try and let go of what you can't, and it's so damn hard. I just want to reach in and take all of that pain away. Let it infiltrate my flesh. God, just let me take her fucking place. All I want is for you to be okay. I sat up at night looking for answers, screaming prayers to the heavens, why her? I bargained. If you make her well again, I'll be at every church, every Sunday. Front pew. Every dollar I make in the collection plate, please take anything, everything. Just don't take her. Can't do this on my own.
So y'all want to get nasty? Yeah. I was going to be clean tonight, but I'm going to give y'all what you want. I am Miss Monique. A lover of words, a lover of pain, a lover of pleasure. Sit back, relax, let me hypnotize you just for a moment. Make love to your mind, make love to your soul, and if you're lucky, maybe even me. But be careful. I am an expensive, acquired taste. I am Miss Monique, your favorite classic freak. So I've told you a little bit about who I am, but let me tell you why I'm not like you. When I say I'm not like you, understand what I mean. I don't mean to sound facetious, grandiose, snobby, bougie, or obscene. But when I say I'm not like you, this is what I mean. You see, you say you got it out the mud, but I never even played outside. So mud is nowhere where a bitch like me will ever reside. You walk around with knives in your hand, stabbing your sisters in the back, maliciously speaking about them. Baby, I don't even eat red meat, so me and a knife very rarely even meet. So to my sisters, I want them to succeed. You throw rocks and hide your hand, waiting on them to fail. And instead, I want them to be great. So when I say I'm not like you, this is what I mean. None of you care about who you align your spirit with, constantly aligning with evil. I can't stand to lose another piece of me. Leeches feeding on me like prey. So I prefer to stand alone in my box, staying out of you hoes' way. Miserable, downtrodden, repeating the same mistakes. So when I say I'm not like you, this is what I mean. I used to be green, as they say. No street smarts. Easily calm, confused, kind, never mean. You asked, I gave. You cried, I cried. You got mad, I got mad. But when I asked, you lied. When I cried, you lied. When I was mad, you got glad. And when I say I'm not like you, this is what I mean. You see, I'm loyal to a fault, but it will no longer be yours. A sister to you no longer because my circle is so small. That door is closed to some because it will no longer do. So this is what I mean when I say I'm not like you. You won't find me at the Legion, digressing like the rest. You see, the Legion, it's called that for a reason. It's like a legion of demons, and my God says, baby, be the best. So when I say I'm not like you, this is what I mean. You looking at a beautiful black queen.
Come on now.
Now we gonna get nasty. I'm a grown woman. I know what I want. I know what I need. You see, a grown woman is unashamed. She wears her sexuality and she takes no blame. A grown woman knows how to touch and be touched. A grown woman knows how to fuck and be fucked. You see, I can take you home and touch every part of you, and the next time I see you, I promise I'll act like it wasn't just you. Capable of unabashedly shameless, freaky things. Tie me up, dig me down, eat this pussy, I'll take you all the way down. And then after I reach my peak, after peak, after peak, nigga, grab that towel and help me clean up this leak. Because you see, to enter this pussy treasure trove means that I chose you. I saw that imprint in your pants, daddy, and I'm curious if you know what to do. But understand, I have no pussy to waste. I can't stand another pussy chase. So if you can't stand that dick, baby, pay attention. I am a grown woman. I won't beat around the bush. If your dick is what I crave, I might let you 50 Shades of Grey and spend a weekend as your slave. But understand, my sex is not for the weak. First and foremost, don't catch feelings because I don't need you. I may want you, may occasionally want to play. But understand, in this house, with Miss Monique, this is nowhere where you will ever stay. So go ahead and grab your fitting, because I'm done. There is absolutely no more in store. Daddy, let me walk you to the door. If I want to play again, nigga, I know how to find you. Just don't play me too close and make me have to remind you. I am a grown woman with the heart of a man. You may think you can play me. Nigga, catch me if you can.
Come on now. I want your next door neighbors to know my name. I want to be the reason you need a new bed frame. I want to make your legs shake with that funny walk. I want to be the reason your cheesing is stutter when you talk. I want to make you hit enough high notes to win a Grammy. Squirt so much you'll cover everything in plastic like Granny. I want to be the reason your ass is sitting up and it scratches on the floor. I'm an anytime freak. I'll be the reason why you don't wear panties no more. I want to hit that spot you didn't know you had. Be the reason you come harder and longer than you ever had. I want to fuck you so good you will finally feel whole and be the reason why you want to fight every woman that breathes their soul. I want to be that thought, that cross that makes you blush because of how good we do it. This is real intimacy. I'll be the reason you see sex as therapeutic. I want to be that voice you hear that gets you a little wet Because I put it in your chest and I show you respect. There's a lot of freaky things I want to do. If only, baby, I could do them with you.
Walking in the park, watching winter turn to spring. Strolling in the dark, watching lovers do their thing. Ooh, that's the time I feel like making love to you. Hey, that's the time. Feel like making dreams come true. Oh, baby. Ooh, when you talk to me, when you're more than sweet and then you touch me, baby, and my feelings start to show. That's the time I feel like making love to you. Oh, baby. It's an old school, super old school, but I like this acoustic version. It's pretty. I guess you wonder where I've been. I searched to find a love within, but I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, I ain't gonna let go. My friends wonder what is wrong with me. I'm in a daze from your love, you see. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, can't let go. Some people go around the world for love they may never find what they dream of. What do you want to do for love? You try everything, but you don't give up. In my world, baby, there's only you. Would you do for love what I would not do? So my friends wonder what is wrong with me. I'm in a daze from your love, you see. So I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, ain't never, never, never gonna let go. But then I only want the best, it's true. They can't believe the things I'll do for you. What you do for love? You try everything, but you don't give up. In the world, don't you know it's only you? What you do for love? What I would not do? Tell me, baby, what you do for love? What I would not do? What would you do for love? What I would not do? What would you do for love? Would you go all the way around the world? Yeah, what would you do for love? Hey, yeah, what would you do for love? What would you do? Tell me, what would you do?
Memorize your shit, poet. I can't. I won't. I refuse. See, you don't understand. It's hard for me to stand upon this island and pretend that I'm a man. I said, it's hard for me to stand upon this island and pretend that I'm a man. I said, it's hard for me to stand upon this island and pretend that you're a fan. What goes on in my head is the day-to-day struggle between what I want to be and what is. What could be, couldn't be, will and won't be. So I quote, I paraphrase. I write it down, I rewrite it, I jot it down, I re-jot it, I make it sound like I want it, I can't. I won't. I refuse. To memorize these words is to leave my brain, because once they do, what do they become? If I gave life to them on page, what happens when I take them from that which they call home? What happens when I push them between these two liars' lips, expel them out to your innocent ears, where you will misquote them if you remember them at all? If you repeat them on deaf ears, will they fall? It's alright, because, let's be honest, you don't care, because all you care about is memorize your shit, poet. I can't. I won't. I refuse. See, while some can sit up here and retell story after story, spell after spell, like they were Harry Potter on Adderall, well, I can't. I won't. I refuse. Because see, memorizing your words was something I used to think only good poets do. I used to look down my rather ugly nose at those who would read from notebooks and phones like tablets were made of prose. And now, if you were to replay the last 2 years of my performances, on very few occasions would you see me without a phone in my hand or in front of a mic stand. Because there are certain things that I would just rather not do. Why I'm telling this to you, because you don't care, because all you care about is memorize your shit, poets. I can't. I won't. I refuse. But more importantly, I choose to give to you a piece straight from me. A piece of a piece that I hope one day will be one of your favorite pieces, even if it's just a favorite of mine. That I hope one day will be one of your favorite pieces, even if it's just a favorite of mine, that you will ask me to bring to every performance you ever see me perform. But I keep them on my phone or on my notepad when I'm alone or on my girlfriend's phone when my phone's dead because sometimes I lose my head. But I keep them where I gave birth to them. So that if you disrespect them or don't want to hear them or didn't see them or didn't want to be them or didn't understand them, they are safe. Because while I will agree with every poet on this stage, we write what we write to give our fears, our worries, and our praises a name. We stand up here and we say it loud and clear. I'm a poet and I know it, and if you allow me to, I'll show it. You won't feel every piece, you won't feel every word, but all of us are just hoping that maybe, just maybe, a syllable or more is heard. So who gives a shit how the message was delivered? Did you get the message? Or were you so caught up in its lack of pretty packaging that all you saw was the wreckage? Well, if that's the case, I thank you for showing me the confidence in my choice was not misplaced. Why should I agonize and strategize when it's clear to see you only see with your eyes? And yet you want to tell me, memorize your shit, poet. I can't. I mean, I won't. You know what? I refuse.
Memorize your shit, poet.
Somebody, when he sleeps, just take some scissors and cut that rat nest off the back of his head. It was all fake. Alright, these next two pieces, the first one, I'm going to just preface it by saying it is about a past relationship. It's in that moment where you know it wasn't good for you, but it was something that was for you, and you would do anything to get that back. And then I'm going to follow that one immediately with one about my current relationship, so hopefully you guys can see that I can grow too. Shortly after we broke up, I sat down to watch all of the horror movies you told me to wait for you to watch. I made a day of it. I sat down on my day off, I put on Netflix and I sat down, I put on Hulu and I sat down and I realized you were not sitting next to me. And it wasn't movie night, it was just Monday. It wasn't vegetable soup night or Hulu horror movie marathon, it was just Monday. So movies weren't going to work, but then I remembered there were 100 TV shows that we have started and stopped that I couldn't finish without you. So I put on Criminal Minds and I turned it off. And then I put on Dance Moms and I turned it off. No matter what I turned on, the end result was I turned it off. So then I got bored, and when I'm bored, I get hungry. So I decided I was hungry, and I wanted to go somewhere. I wanted to go on a drive, and somewhere between the driveway and eternity, I realized it didn't matter where I ended up. It would have been somewhere where you were, but without you. Maybe not your apartment or your work. Maybe I would have ended up at Bradley Fountain. And I would have remembered that that was one of my favorite places in the city. The only place I felt safe until you hugged me. But maybe I was being too specific. Maybe I'd go to Walmart. Nope. Thinking of all the times that you and I had gone there at 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 5 a.m. Like we compared different Walmarts and different Dillons as if we were superstore connoisseurs. Besides, I wanted to eat and not cook, but I dare not go to IHOP. Where you and I sat at a table from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. and knowing every worker there because all we did was talk, all we did was share, and all I did was spend 9 hours working up the courage to get you to let me hold your hand across the table. So knowing that that memory might not make me completely crumble, it's quite possible I would have went downtown. Where I would have been driving on Douglas past Century 2 and I would have seen a little burnout street light. And I remember that under that light, back when it was bright, was the first time I tried to kiss you. Upset that Wichita was covered with you, I would go, gas tank permitting, and try to escape. Only to find out that I couldn't. I couldn't go back to Manhattan. I'd taken you there one too many times, and now the Hy-Vee and the Job Corps was just seasoned oyster crackers and the Job Corps tour we never took. Kansas City was now vegan restaurants and Weird Al. Oklahoma was ruined. Whether it was Turner Falls, where you realized just how uncoordinated I could be if you added water, or Oklahoma City, to celebrate what would have been our anniversary. Or, if I was feeling especially masochistic, there was Norman, where one December you introduced me to your aunt and uncle, and for the first time in my adult life, I found a reason to love Christmas. And believed in a fantasy outside of my own imagination. So you see, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Indianapolis, Iowa, a sandwich shop in the middle of fucking St. Louis. It didn't matter. Wherever I went would be you, but without you. And that my heart couldn't take, so I went home, cursing every slug bug, cursing every Bed Bath & Body Works, cursing whoever designed made me, and made sure to instill the flaw that made me continually lose you until it was too much, too often. And when I got home, I went downstairs into my room, and out of habit, I turned on the closet light and cracked open the door because you were afraid of the dark in the creepy basement. And I laid there, staring up at what I hoped was ceiling, but could have been a ghost. And I remembered every moment of our time together. Every moment. The ones that hurt me, the ones that hurt you. The ones that were mediocre until they were no more and became legend, wait for it, daring. The ones that were the love story that should have been. You see, I can't exist in a life that's not built with you in it. For years I thought I did before you, but that was merely workshops, testing, for the product I tried to be for you, but couldn't get out of my own way to finish before the deadline. I never wanted to come. I don't hate you for leaving me, but if I'm being honest, it's because I mostly don't believe you've left. There is no reality or sanity to be found where I am a boat adrift and you were my solid ground. I have no jar of dirt. Just the memories in my head that I play back on a loop, trying to remember everything you said, every warning, every chance, every missed opportunity I would have known or listened if logic would have gotten through to me. I'm still a broken boy, not a man yet, just as I was made. Equal parts of love, hate, anger, and regret, but I know now what love is, and the hole it leaves when the scab won't set. Our life is going in different directions. That was your reason, and it was true. I wanted bigger, you wanted bigger and better things, and I found that all I wanted was you. Your dreams were bigger than I could ever design. And while you're waiting for yours, I decided long ago that you were mine. You can say it's cheesy, say it's crazy, say it makes you feel numb or nothing. But when I was with you, it made me think that maybe, my best friend didn't die for nothing. I'm horrible with money, and my living situation is pathetic, but the way you look at me now makes me need a medic. I'm a poet and a gamer. I gave you my heart, even put it on paper. It's been worn and tarnished, but you love to recycle, so it's born anew. Shortly after we broke up, I sat down to watch all the horror movies you told me to wait for you to watch. You told me to wait for you. Thank you. Now, there's a cliche of a poet doing love poetry, which is why Monique and Soul doing their Pornhub shit makes me feel completely outclassed. But I think so called me awkward, so I will keep that awkward cliche of a poet doing love poems. And this one goes out to that beautiful lady sitting there in the corner. It's called Lost and Found. I have found love, and she is crazy. Her brain is a cave filled with 80 TVs, all with horrible signal, but really good color. And if you squint hard enough or long enough, you can finally see the big picture. Most don't squint. She's a box full of jack-in-the-boxes, never knowing which ones will pop and which ones are duds. She just loves, or explodes. Like a teddy bear strapped to a proximity mine, she's a clustered creation of stardust and fault lines who will swear that she's fine. She's the type of person who can count 126, definitely 126 jelly beans on the floor with no problem, but needs you to remind her on what finger she was on when recalling her to-do list or her grocery list. There are a lot of lists and notes and alarms. So many alarms. But the biggest ones, of course, are the ones she can't see coming or plan for, that shake her on a random Tuesday down to her core and fill her to the brim with underestimated overstimulation, till she just wants to shrink or scream. So she shrinks inside of her own head and screams at the top of her inner lungs till the vibration in her skull shatters her porcelain orbs and she leaks diamond water. Y'all, the first time I saw her, I committed every rom-com cinema sin. Stuttered breath, hand on chest, eye focused. Harder than I ever did when looking at those hidden pictures they used to put on the back of highlights magazines and zoo books. Like a man who knew at first glance he may not get a second look. I looked harder than my one eye ever had to in a 3D movie when I tell you she was for me. It was in that moment I made myself a promise, no, a vow, one that God or Satan or shit Betty White should never have allowed. I vowed that she would be my strength. She would be the strength to my smile, that I would reach back into my childhood, past the old depressions and obsessions, beyond the mama drama and drama, find that fresh piece of flesh, stitch it firmly to my chest, hoping that every seam would make me seem brand new. Like a ginger bent Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas, I wanted to be a patchwork of her dream come true. I want to be someone she can love, but will settle for something she enjoys. She saved the soul of this jackass and makes me feel like a real boy, my Helen of Troy. And I will launch ships with these lips, filled with short stories and fairy tales, adjectives and adverbs, nouns and prepositions. It is my mission in life to always do what makes a better story, and she does more than make a better story. She makes me more me. And isn't that what every writer searches for? What every poet who ever gets on a stage hopes to implore, to have yourself firmly planted on the stage, page, or floor, and still feel like if you wanted to, you could soar. Yes. If being sexy was against the law, I would be a law-abiding citizen. But there is not a role between hero, villain, friend, and foe that I have not been written in. And in place to face the devil, hell, I couldn't even get a fiddle in. So while others will take this stage and invoke emotions from each of you, and as we drink great wine and let the memory of this storied night get hazy, I remind you, like I said at the beginning, I have found love. And about her, I am crazy.
Kiki, baby!
Boys and motherfucking girls, kings, queens, and all you ugly motherfuckers in between. How y'all doing tonight? Alright, y'all passed the vibe check. I ain't got to cuss you out. Y'all already at the speech. You give me energy, I give you energy. You stare at me like the painting on the wall, I'm gonna do some ABC 1, 2, 3 Dr. Seuss shit and set my ass the fuck down. Now if you want me to do some real shit, I don't give a damn if you don't like it. Make that loud noise, boo my black ass. There you go. I mean, give me your energy, because I'm just fucking like you're not, because I'm gonna do what I have to do. So background was, I'm gonna introduce myself. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and motherfucking girls. May I have your attention, please? The poetry you're about to hear is not gonna be sugar, spice, or puppies, fart, rainbows. I'm not gonna say anything nice about anyone in this room. I'm not gonna tell you that it's a good life and we have a chance in hell of getting out alive. I'm not gonna tell you that love is great and it all works out, because hell, sometimes that shit just dies. Now, these are my deepest, darkest thoughts, raw and uncut. I may never be able to explain to you what might flow from my pen. I might attempt to explain myself to you, but more than likely, I'm gonna take you shut the fuck up. Now, let me back up. Let me introduce myself since I'm the one with the reins, always control. Now y'all pay attention. This shit here about to get real deep. You may call me Quinn Kiki as you bow at my feet. Nah, let me adjust my crown with all this posture. Let's sit down just a little bit. Have me don't mind, because I know I ain't shit, but now that I've got you all tuned in, sit back, relax. It's time for my real poetry to begin. Oh, y'all motherfuckers fell! If y'all see me step back and take a pause, I'm done with my poem. I need to know how you felt about that shit. Y'all just staring at it. Before he yelled it out some strange back room or back corner, I ain't memorized shit. I ain't gonna memorize shit. These are my feelings and they are in constant flux. So I can memorize it this way yesterday, and by the time I get here today, there's a certain line that just don't make sense for today. So I ain't gonna memorize it, but I'm gonna put on a show. If y'all wanna enjoy yourselves, and if you don't, y'all can suck my dick. Just like that. So I never know what I'm going to perform because I like to fill my room with y'all. If I was so sad today, I mean, don't get me wrong, we all go through things, but I think y'all feel like y'all want to go up a little bit, huh? Y'all want to laugh? What the fuck is happening? What y'all putting in these wines? These people going back to this.
We want to get high, Kiki.
We believe it. Go with it.
All right, so I don't know what I'm going to do.
Fuck you.
Start here. I got all these beautiful, strong black women in front of me. I'm going to do my strong black woman poem. A strong black woman. Yeah. A phrase I at first took offensively. Because if you are, it's already known. I don't have to tell you. It's natural. But now I recant that thought. Because it requires a different level of strength. A different level of stamina to be black anything. Not everyone's equipped, but we don't have the freedom to live the dream freely, so society hates the black people, it rapes us financially, always the underdog supported by authority. I can't talk, but I can. I'm just afraid to. I'm afraid of what it would cost me. It's hard making ends meet. I don't want to be too loud, lose my job, and what would my children eat? Do I really want to add to the loss? Silent pride, tears red in my eyes. It requires tenacity to just be. We gotta be smarter than that, so we will be defeated. Black woman equals irrelevant. That is the lesson taught in society through music, through life, through lessons from school, their friends, their teachers. This is what they see. Black women are irrelevant. Black women are angry. We can be passionate about whatever. We're just angry. But I don't know about y'all, I'm mad as hell. I'm a be angry because I'm passionate. I'm passionate about life. I'm passionate about my children. I'm passionate about my wife. I'm passionate about my money, so don't come fucking with me. To be black, anything requires tenacity and strength. To be a black woman requires the strength on the God. Let's see. I don't know what I want to do. This is one of my favorite poems. And yes, I do it a lot. And I don't care if you've heard it before because you like it too. And if you don't, you already know how I feel about that. There you go. So, before I get going, because I'm going to do this and I'm going to follow it with my fuck you poem. And when I say fuck you, I got to walk off stage and they be on my head. If you are on social medias, if you're not, go start one right now. And you can find me on all platforms, Miss Kiki Baby, B-A-Y-B-E-E, because I am unique. Follow me, I am a performer. You can also see me in PPP Long Gone. You can also see me in Unsurety. You can also catch me behind the lead man, our man, host of the evening, in Joint Custody coming out. So make sure y'all tune in to everything we got going on. There's some talent in this city. This is called I've Learned. I've learned. They say a closed mouth don't get fed and slow feet don't get bread. But what's it called when you do for others and you ain't ain't even ahead. Then you wrong for asking, and you wrong for wondering why them same people ain't go out for you like you went out for them. Or when they know they owe you, they want to try to play you about your ends. I wish much success to those who doubted me. I wish nothing less to those who walked out of me. I wish abundance to those who drank selfishly from my well. I wish prosperity to those who hoped, wished, and prayed that I would fail. It's never been about what you could do for me, because trust I always give from my heart. I'm just shocked that you ain't clapped for me when I thought we've been down from the start. No, this ain't no sneak diss, no jeffing, no capping. I just want to publicly acknowledge all the fake shit I watched happen. My bad, girl, I ain't having it. Oh, I totally forgot. Oh, you act like you kids. Oh, you act like I owe you. I barely had it for my kids, but I pushed through for you. Oh, you forgot? Perhaps I should have too. It probably wasn't a lot, but you used both hands to gain. I don't care if you only owe me $5. It's the principle, not the price. Trust me, I don't need your change. A lot of people say they love you as long as they can use you. So the next time you need a favor, here's what you do. Speak on me when you speak to God, because in these streets it keeps back to me. And at least if you speak to God and speaking in tongues, He can block your shit and keep on blessing you. No, this ain't no sneak diss, no Jeff and no Papa. I just learned that most people will wish you the best, and when you do win, they do no clap. They say a closed mouth don't get fed and slow feet don't get bread. But I am happy at the table alone, because I know the man upstairs will use me, and you know you can't do it on your own. Hey! Not least. Like I said, I got one more piece because my piece is really short. So this one is called Dear Human Resources, and then we're going to scream fuck you. Dear Human Resources, I'm writing with a few ideas and also concerns about the current administration. You see, I was accused of using black propaganda to promote discord in the office, but if wanting to see black people in a position of power above everyone else is a racist, then fuck it, I'm racist. If loving my black people is spreading hate, then fuck it, I'm downright hateful. If healing black people's physical, mental, and spiritual wounds is spiteful, fuck it, I'm downright despicable. If my blackness offends you, then fuck you too. But I digress. As far as the administrator goes, I swore that I'd kill her with kindness and professionalism. But I'm not exactly sure how to translate, bitch, fuck you in your very next breath into nicer words. I mean, understand, I've already decided not to tell her that she wears bitter like a cake. Not to tell her that she needs to get fucked. And not to tell her that her raggedy ass dress looks like a dirty mop used to clean up sorrow and cherry coke. But I'm saying, I really want to keep the workplace friendly, so. Sincerely yours, Kiki. Okay, so if this is your first rodeo, they call me the queen of fuck you because I can say fuck you like nobody can. I am that cousin you apologize before they walk into the room. I am that friend that you only hang out with by yourself because nobody can know that you hang out with me. I am that voice in your head when you want to tell that bitch fuck you, I will use my voice to say it for you. Fuck Biden. Fuck Trump. Fuck systemic racism. Fuck your slave-owning racist great grandparents. Fuck fake woke people. Fuck ignorant-ass sleep people. Fuck niggas who fucking up for other black people. Fuck misogynists. Fuck those who are violent for petty reasons and can never stand up for what's right. Fuck pedophiles and those who think it's okay to joke about rape. Fuck those who support anything except a black business. Fuck religious people who do everything but help people. Fuck those who like to point out my wrong but never their own. Fuck bullies. Fuck other phony politicians. Fuck conflicts between all people of color. They treat us all like trash. Fuck your skin color preference. I don't care if I'm not light-skinned. I'm still the baddest bitch you ever did see. Fuck global warming. Fuck the socio-political elite. Fuck those who believe children should be seen and not heard. Fuck those who say the natural look at for everybody because bitch, I look good. Fuck these corny-ass rappers spreading harmful ignorance. Fuck teachers who actually don't care about their students. Fuck parents who know they damn well don't give a damn about their children. Fuck leeches. Fuck those who speak against unity. Fuck hurtful stereotypes. Fuck impossible beauty standards. And for my favorite, fuck you of all. Fuck all of you fat shaming. Body shaming. That outfit ain't for you. You shouldn't be wearing that. You need a girdle with that ass bitches. Watch me put a smile on my fat ass face. Pop my middle fingers in the air, scream from the deep, dark depths of my soul. Fuck you!
Say right now, no lies, just facts. If you love me, just say so. I can't play these games with you no more. If you love me, just say so. So I can right out the door. It's just that I can feel I'm falling deep. I don't wanna fall unless you're falling with me. I need to know this is really real. Or if you feel the same way that I feel. If you love me, just say so. I can't play these games with you no more. If you love me, say so. So I know if I need to walk out the door, baby, listen. La 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 la, la 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 la, la la la. Baby, I hope you understand this is for my peace of mind. I don't want to waste any more of your time. If this love ain't what you want, baby, let me know so I can walk right out the door. If you love me, say so. So if you love me, say so. I can play these games with you no more. Thank you.